Want to know what a real man would tell their lady about love and life? You're in the right place. This is Hello Ladies with Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an author, speaker, and proud father. Grab some wine, sit back, and enjoy.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to my spot. Look for a man, not your dad. And this is very important because a very deep thing with many women, and it's along the lines of looking for that ideal man, is that they're looking for their daddy. Sometimes they're looking for the same thing in a man. Now, what it is not so much the physical daddy, just to be clear, but looking for the traits and the actions that they wanted from their daddy. A lot of women got daddy issues, and if the dad wasn't around, or if the dad was around but was inattentive, or he was whatever he was, and the woman felt like she was lacking, well then what happens? Y'all get a longing for that type of man. And here's the issue with that. If daddy wasn't giving you the love that you wanted, or said I love you, hugged you enough, okay, that's him. You actually miss out on some very good men because you really looking for that. Like every woman needs to examine themselves. Every woman, like several women, I've talked to several women and they said they would have trouble with a man because really they were looking for their daddy. And you know what? That dude ain't your daddy. And in fact, it might be a bad thing if the father wasn't around. Because then you're trying to get this guy who's just being who he is to do stuff you wanted your father to do. And then if your father was a bad guy and you looking for that same energy, oh, you really in trouble. Because then you're going to constantly look for bad guys. Now, I'm known for talking about the imprint. See, the first imprint is really in the DNA itself. But then the next one is a child around the age of 7 or 8 looking for someone similar to their opposite sex parent. So, oh yeah, there's a lot of men with mommy issues. A lot of men with mommy issues. But when you talk about the daddy issue thing, when you talk about that, basically it happens, okay, you want something from your dad. You looking for it. Now, if you have those issues, he wasn't a good father. He didn't do what he needed to do. Because if that same dynamic, if the father was a good guy, upstanding individual, then you will look for men like that. Now, let me explain. Okay, you want somebody like your dad. The first guys you're going to look for when puberty hits, you ready to get down, you're going to look for guys similar to your father. Guys similar to you, a combination of your father and whoever the dominant boys are in your area. All right, like I said, if the man was a good man, hey, that's a good thing. But a lot of times he wasn't. So now you're looking for a bad guy. Then you get somebody similar, in behavior or whatever. Shoot, sometimes even in physical appearance. He imprints you, and then the next two guys imprint you. All of a sudden, shoot, you imprinted to go for that type for the rest of your life. And I've seen some women get messed up by that. Instead of just saying, you know what, let me find a man. And I was actually inspired to do this because another woman I know, she said that. She said that in a public post on social media. She'd always been looking for her father. Now she needs to look for a man. See, you got to look for that good man. And not the ideal man. I talked about that. Not the fantasy. And not your dad. The best man for you is a man dissimilar from your father. A man who's going to give you that attention. A man who's going to love you. Like I said, it's not a bad thing if he was a good man and your imprint is good. But most women's imprints were bad. And that dad thing is deep because even when the father was in the home, you might have wanted more from him. He might have gave you attention, took care of you. You might have wanted something else. He might not have held you enough or told you he loved you enough, or maybe he paid attention to one of your siblings more than you. It's always something. And one of the things with that is, it's like, okay, you got to deal with that, but you need to look for somebody who's dissimilar, and you got to really work on yourself just to even deal with that guy. And let me say this about the dad issue: don't hold back from getting therapy. I'm serious. Don't hold back from getting therapy, because yeah, it's going to be tough for you just to say, oh, I'm just going to get somebody dissimilar from him. That's going to be hard to do. Extremely hard to do. I mean, what you supposed to do? I mean, first of all, you ain't going to feel that with most guys anyway, so it's already tough. And shit, you might even give that guy some hell, like some guy coming in, he sincerely like you, but he ain't enough like dad. So you just like, nah, you making it hard for him. He could be physically attractive and all of that. But see, here's the thing. If a guy has good intentions towards you, you need to really think about it. Now, I know some women might argue, well, if I'm not physically attracted to him, okay. But I've found in this situation, a lot of times women do encounter guys that they do find physically attractive, but he don't have that behavior or that energy that they're looking for that's similar to their dad. That's where the problem is. But like I said, first deal with the issue. First recognize you even have the issue. Then talk to a therapist, talk to a spiritual leader, do whatever work you got to do. And then be open for the guys that actually come in, the men that actually come in. And you could probably do something. I've seen some women break through that, and they will be happy with a guy. I know one situation, a woman was, she got a guy wasn't similar to her father, but she couldn't stay with the guy until she ran into a dog who was similar to her father. Now she looking at stuff totally different. And it's some real shit. You got to be very cognizant of who you're looking at. You got to deal realistically with a man. And he's out there. Look, just like I tell the fellas, there's plenty of men. Like I talked about the other week, hey, it's your selection criteria. You can restrict it or you can expand it. If you're serious about being in a relationship, you probably have to expand it. And trust me, don't tell me like every single guy out here is physically unattractive. If you on that tip, like every guy, well, I don't know what to say to help you. Like I said, don't force yourself, but then ask yourself, how come you don't find anybody attractive? And trust me, it'll go back to whatever issues that you're dealing with, But you got to get it in your head. Look for a man, not your dad. Not your dad. Your dad is your dad. You might have to make your peace with him. You might have to curse him out. You might have to like cut off relations with him, But deal with that. Deal with those issues. And when you're looking for that right mate, think in terms of the right man. All right, ladies? So anyway, that's all I got for today. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.